Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've got another Crockpot video for you guys. Y'all seem to really enjoy it. So I've got 3 easy and delicious Crockpot recipes for you. So the first one, we're going to do pesto chicken. Now, if you use pesto, you know that this isn't the most prettiest dish. Pesto is just green and ugly looking, but the flavor is so good and I highly recommend this. When I first made this recipe years ago, Luke seen it in the Crockpot. He was like, I'm not eating that, it looks disgusting, but he ate it and he loved it, and now he asks for this every month or so. So I've just got some boneless and skinless chicken thighs there. I've just put it in the bottom of my slow cooker, and then all you're going to do next is add in a jar of pesto on top, spread it around, and that's it. 2 ingredients, the chicken and the pesto, super simple and delicious. So since the chicken thighs are really small, this only takes a couple hours, so I always just put it on high, cook it for about 2 to 3 hours, and it is normally done. So to serve along with it, we either do like the frozen ravioli with some Parmesan, or this night I made some spinach and Parmesan orzo. Y'all, this was so good. Luke was like, why don't you make this more often? It's delicious. He could probably eat this a couple times a week, to be totally honest. He loves it. So I have just got some oil in my pan, and I have about, I'd say about 1/4 cup of onion. It called for more, but I'm not a huge fan of onions, so I just did a little bit for flavor. And I did small dice on those for personal preference of myself. So I'm just going to cook those up, give them some color, and then we will come back. Okay, so now that our onions, I've got some color on them, I'm going to add in some garlic. I did use a recipe from Pinterest, so I'll have that listed down below for you guys so y'all can get measurements. But we're just going to add in our garlic, get it nice and fragrant, and then we are going to toast our orzo. Get it nice and toasty. I feel like it brings out a nice nutty flavor in it when you toast it. Of course, you don't have to do that, but like I said, I feel like it really gives it another level of flavor. So we're going to put our orzo in there, get it toasted for a couple minutes, and then we will go in with our liquid. The liquid is some chicken broth and some milk. So once you've added in that chicken broth, give it a good stir, scrape up any bits that could be on the bottom of your pan. That is all good flavor. And then you're going to add in your milk, give it another stir, and then you're going to cook it according to the box directions for the pasta. I did have to add a little bit more chicken broth because the pasta wasn't done. It just needed a little bit more longer to cook, and so I think I only added in about 1/2 cup of extra liquid in that, but I wanted to note that for you guys. So if you make it, you might need to add in a little extra liquid. So once the pasta is cooked, I'm going to add in my spinach, and it's going to look like a lot, but remember, spinach wilts down to pretty much nothing, and so you could even add more, I feel like, because once it wilted down there really wasn't a lot, but I didn't use enough of what the directions said as well. I just added in what I thought looked good, as in a, like there when you see it. Of course, like I just said, it wilts down, so it definitely could have used more, but this recipe is amazing. We will definitely be making this again. It is super delicious. So just let that spinach wilt down, And then here is the chicken all done. It is so easy to just break apart. I love chicken thighs because they're nice and tender and juicy. And like I said, this doesn't look the best, but pesto has so much flavor and it is so freaking delicious. This is one of Luke's favorite Crockpot meals. So now that the rest of that liquid has absorbed into the noodles, they are cooked very well. The spinach is nice and wilted. We're going to go in with some heavy cream, and then we are going to top it off with some Parmesan cheese. I would have much rather had the shredded parm. When I do this again, I will make sure to buy the shredded parm. But of course, the sprinkle parm just does the trick, does exactly what it needs to do. But I'm telling y'all, I'm raving over this so hard because this was so freaking delicious. So here it is all plated up. Like I said, I know it's not the prettiest because it's green and all that, but y'all, this was so good. Please give this pesto chicken a try, or the orzo. Both of them were amazing. For the next crockpot meal, we're going to do a beef roast. This is super simple, y'all. I'll have this link in the description box for you guys. So you're just going to want a 2 to 3 pound roast with good marbling. I feel like good marbling is the key. You don't want too much fat, and you can kind of see whenever you purchase if it has good marbling or not. So you're just going to need 1 packet of dry ranch, 1 packet of brown gravy mix, and 1 packet of au jus. You're going to add all of those on top of that, trying to sprinkle them on top of the roast. Once you get all 3 of those packets sprinkled on top, you're just going to go in with 1 cup of water. I pour it around the sides. I try to keep as much of that, the packets on top of the roast. And don't worry, it's all going to melt down and be delicious. And then you're going to go in with 1 stick of butter. If you don't feel like you need a whole stick, then you can definitely get by with a half. But I feel like butter is definitely important for this recipe. And you're just going to plop that baby right on top of there, put the lid on, and let it cook low and slow all day long. I cooked mine for about 8 hours and it was fall apart tender. It was super delicious. Here it is. It melted down. It is so tender, and I don't know, something about adding those 3 packets, it just makes the best flavor. And then having the butter in there, oh, it was so freaking delicious, y'all. So good. So I'm just gonna chop it up. Like I said, it just falls apart into nothing. As you see, it is so tender and juicy. And then we served it with some mashed potatoes and a can of corn. And then I made some good old homemade bread. So I had bought some of the smaller gold Yukon potatoes for this week, and so I didn't end up peeling those. I love having the Yukon gold ones because the skins are very thin, and so I like to just give them a good wash and then cut them up as is with the peeling. So they're more like smashed potatoes when I'm done, but y'all, they are so good. I feel like sometimes Luke likes the smashed potatoes better than he does the regular potatoes, but you can definitely peel them if you want and use whatever brand potatoes you want to as well. So I'm just adding my diced potatoes into a pot of cold water. You want to start off your potatoes on the stove with cold water. You want to let the water heat up as it heats up, and then you want to make sure to salt your water. Not as salty as pasta, but give it a little bit of salt just to have some flavor while it's cooking. But if you start off with cold water and bring the water and the potatoes up to temperature as the water heats up, then you won't have as starchy potatoes. They're like gummy. So if you do it like that with the cold water and let it come up to temperature all together, then you have nice and good clean potatoes. They're not like I said, they're not gummy and starchy potatoes. So I just went in with a can of corn, and we always do butter and sugar in our corn. And then, like I said, I always salt my potatoes. And then there is my bread. It's rising, doing the last proof, and then it will get ready to go into the oven. So for my potatoes, I always just add in milk and butter and cream them up. I add pepper and I add salt, a little bit more salt, taste it, and then add more if I need it. But you don't need as much whenever you salt your water because it cooks in with it. But y'all, this was so delicious. That homemade bread, oh my gosh. I have that recipe listed, or I have that video linked down below for you guys so y'all can check it out. But that dinner was so delicious. We have got delicious chicken and noodles. Y'all, this was so freaking good, and I kind of just made it up. I didn't have a recipe. I really got my inspiration from the noodles themselves, which y'all will see in a couple minutes. So I've just got 2 chicken breasts in the slow cooker, and I've seasoned it up with SPG, which it's just a all-purpose seasoning of salt, pepper, and garlic. You can mix it yourself or find the SuckleBusters. I always have the link in the description box down below. But to that, I'm just going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup with 1 packet of gravy. I did use brown gravy, which the flavor was really good. But you can also use chicken gravy, of course, since it is chicken and noodles. I didn't have chicken gravy, so I just used the brown, but the flavor was really good. So I probably, when I make this again, I would probably just go ahead and use the brown gravy anyways. So you're going to mix that all together. Do 1 can of milk and mix it all up. Pour it on top of your chicken and then let it cook on low for a couple hours. You just want to make sure that your chicken is cooked through 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you want to shred it. So like I said, you can cook it on high for a couple hours or low for like 5 to 6 hours. Of course, it just depends on what time you have. But there's what it looks like when it was cooked and shredded. So these were the noodles that I got my inspiration from. I had seen these floating through YouTube. Some of my YouTubers had them, and I really wanted to give them a try. And I looked up and found these for 99 cents. It was an in-store special, so of course your price is going to be different. But I looked up and found them for 99 cents. So I ended up getting 2 packs. I put 1 in the freezer to have for later. But y'all, this was so good. It was different. Those homemade egg noodles do have a different texture, but it was really good in a nice, like healthy, hearty dish. And we served it with a bag of frozen corn. I thought I had a can of corn. Of course, canned corn is cheaper because I did go over 20 cents on this $5 meal. But if I had have had that can of corn, then that would have changed my price. But my frozen bags of corn are always $1. So I did cook the noodles separately. I just did them according to the package directions, except for I didn't add any salt to the water. Normally I do, but I knew that the chicken mixture was salty, so I didn't want to add any extra salt if I didn't need to. So I just cooked them according to the package, and then I just added them into the slow cooker, mixed it together. I kept it on warm to keep it warm, of course, but it helped finish cooking the noodles a little bit, and it ended up, they were perfect. I didn't cook them all the way in the boiling water because I was afraid they were going to get mushy in the slow cooker. I don't know about y'all, but I've never had good luck with cooking noodles itself in the crock pot. I know Kat has done it recently, and I was like, girl, how do you do that? My noodles always turn out like crap. So I'm sure if you have good luck with noodles, you can just put them in that mixture and let them cook for, say, like 30 whatever minutes in the slow cooker itself instead of boiling them separate. But to each their own, you do you, whatever works best for you in your kitchen. Here is a close-up shot of it in the slow cooker. I'm telling y'all, this was so good. I will definitely be making this again. I just kind of made it up. I'll try to type some sort of a recipe up for you guys. So I wanted to reshare that crockpot meal in this video because it was super delicious, and I wanted to share again in case you missed it. I will have the original video listed in the description box below so y'all can check it out. There was other meals in that video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this crockpot meal video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.